G'day guys, welcome back. My name is Wildkard. Hurricanes vs Crusaders, the premier game of the year. Every year I look forward to this game more than pretty much any other game, I would say. This has been the game that I look forward to the most ever since I was a child. That's why I have a Hurricanes jersey. And once again, this game has delivered a really bizarre finish to the game. So yeah, let's talk about that really bizarre finish. And to understand what happened, we can't have to go back to halftime, okay? In fact, we'll probably have to go back a tiny bit further than that to the start of the game. So, first up, the referee was changed last minute prior to the start of the game. The original person was supposed to be James Dolman. He's replaced by Brendan Pickerel, like in the last minute, maybe because he had COVID or whatever. They didn't specify what was happening, but it was replaced last minute. So the referee was replaced, and to be fair, Brendan was, overall, there was a lot of small things missed out, like forward passes. Even the commentators were a little bit baffled by the amount of forward passes that was just kind of like missed, and knock-ons as well. It kind of just like missed by pretty blatant stuff that was just missed by Pickerel. So, but that's all the small stuff, right? So, to understand exactly what happened at the end, at the halfway point, we have to kind of look at what's happening at the halfway point. So, at the halfway point, the Hurricanes, just before halftime, the Hurricanes put on 20 phases to try to score a try against the Crusaders. And they were not able to do so at halftime. But they were able to get a penalty, which saw the Hurricanes go into the halftime 1 point leading the Crusaders. I think the score was 13 points to 12. Might have been 18 points to 17. But the Hurricanes was, it was 18 points to 17. So the Hurricanes was leading by 1 point at halftime. Despite playing an additional 4 minutes into overtime, not able to score. 20 phases, not able to score an actual try. So, in the halftime interview, this was a really weird interview with the coaches. The Crusaders coaches looked quite frustrated, whereas the Hurricanes coach looked quite happy. He was like, yeah, we're just going to have to keep going, finish strong. He looked quite happy with that 1 point lead. And that really played into the mentality of the team coming out of the second half. The team came out of the shed, had a really good opportunity to score a try against Crusaders, and they just they were just more than happy to take 3 points to keep that lead, just to try to keep themselves slightly ahead. Seems to be that mentality, right? We're ahead, we're happy to be ahead, and let's just try to keep ourselves a little bit further ahead, and that's good enough. That was the mentality coming out of the second half of the Hurricanes. And so immediately the Hurricanes get an opportunity to score a try, but they opted for 3 points. And that was the only 3 points they were able to score for the entire duration of the second half. That was the only opportunity they had for the entire duration of the second half. That mentality of just, let's stay ahead, stay just ahead is good enough was very blatantly obvious for the Hurricanes for the second half. So, in the dying minutes of the second half, the Hurricanes, not able to really build anything for the entire second half, finally gets a penalty on the 80th minute, okay, to draw the game. Very kickable goal. This was probably 80% kickable, accuracy for the Jordie Barrett to kick this one. And Hurricanes opted to go for the line out for the win. So 2 things here. First up, in an ordinary game, this was looked like a really weird decision as well. So first up, instead of just making the decision on the field, we're gonna go for the golden point, kick the 3, and go for the golden point in extra 15 minutes, or go for the line out instead of just make the decision on the field. Apparently, they waited for the coaches to give them the instructions of what they wanted to do, and the instruction was apparently go for the win right here, right now, and this just forget about extra time. Let's just finish the game right here on the spot. So kids, so if you so this was really strange decision, but there is something that maybe affected the decision is that the Hurricanes has a game coming up on Tuesday, which is in 3 days. They have to play the Moana Pacifica in 3 days. So they probably had that Tuesday game in mind, that they don't want to put their players into the extra time. So the coaches made an executive decision to finish the game right here, right now. Despite the team were not able to score a try for over 40 minutes. Well, no, more than over 40 minutes. Yeah, for over 40 minutes. And they didn't even have a try scoring opportunity for over 40 minutes. They opted for this line out. So this was a really like a weird, convoluted decision that was made with a game that hasn't been played. That's on Tuesday in mind, looks like to me. So that was a weird decision to begin with. They should have gone for the golden point in any other situation, but they decided to finish the game here. So the line out. This is the big controversy. The line out was thrown in. Everybody knew that, like a 5-meter defensive line out, generally in this situation, you don't want to challenge the line out. You kind of want to just to stabilize the maul and make sure you defend the maul, right? Crusaders decided to throw the dice. The line out comes in. They put up Scott Barrett, and it looked like pretty blatantly Scott Barrett played the ball receiver in the end. He grabbed onto the ball and and it looked like he kind of grabbed onto the Hurricanes player in the air. So he had one hand on the ball and he looked like he had the other hand on the player, right? Like he was definitely interrupting the play. So that's the first thing. Second thing, the Hurricanes, it looked like to me, the Hurricanes ball receiver was basically tackled or like wrapped up by the Crusaders defense before he hit the ground. So there were two really obvious infringements that occurred in this lineout, and referee didn't call any of it. So obviously, as soon as the player hit the ground, it looked like the player, as soon as the player was basically the Hurricanes player didn't even hit the ground when the Crusaders were already wrapping onto him. So when he actually hit the ground, the Crusaders smothered him onto the ground. The ball did not come out. Game over. And then everybody was protesting. Hardy Savia was telling the referee to have a look at the TMO, and the referee just says, nah, no decision was made. Game over. And Hardy Savia looked severely upset in his post-match interview. He's probably gonna get a fine. He was criticizing the referee. And I thought this was really poor. So Pickerel stepping in for Dolman last minute. I don't know. I mean, this shouldn't be affecting him. I mean, it is a last minute replacement for the referee, but I mean, you're just the referee. The standards shouldn't be so bad. And this was really weird finish, a weird decision to go for the try, based on the scheduling of the matches that's coming up on Tuesday was already weird enough, but to just in ordinarily, like to be really frank. If the game wasn't going to happen on Tuesday, I understand the decision, because the game on Tuesday, you don't want players to get burnt out and lose on Tuesday. If that wasn't the case, if in any other situation, this Hurricanes should have taken the kick and put it into a golden point. And here's why, right? Because the Crusaders actually goal kicking has been off this whole game. Richie Mwonga's kicking has been off. And Jordie Barrett is clearly kicking better than Richie Mwonga, and Jordie Barrett has a longer kicking range than Richie Mwonga. So in extra time, the Hurricanes has a significant advantage in that regard in terms of being able to kick a goal. But the Crusaders, so it does not look like, and so it's like a no-brainer for me to go for the golden points, to go for the extra time for the golden points. And that was such a weird decision, especially apparently it came from the coaching's box. And another strange finish. To be fair, if the game had not ended by the line out where the supposed penalties occurred, it's just, if it didn't end, if they played on, it doesn't look like it's going to be that likely that they're going to just score a try following that line out anyway, because the Crusaders defense has been just spectacular for the entire second half, and the fact that you have not been able to breach a try for like over 50 minutes despite numerous attempts, despite building like 20 phases in some of these attacks, not able to score. I don't see it. I just don't see the Hurricanes can score here. And also, the reason that Scott Barry was able to, like, so comfortably, so blatantly commit some penalties, trying to get away with, commit this little small, like, fringe, like, very fringe penalties, is because the fact that the Hurricanes already had an opportunity to kick for 3 and they opted not to do so. The Crusaders know if they infringe, they give away a penalty here, Hurricanes are going to go for the lineouts again. So they know that they're not going to, they know that the downside of giving away the penalty is almost non-existent because the Hurricanes clearly don't want to go to extra time. And yeah, so they really like took advantage of that as well, knowing that the Hurricanes either not comfortable kicking the 3 or don't want to go to extra time because of the game on Tuesday. They really took advantage of that and played on the fringes, committed some really close penalties, and was able to get away with the dice roll. Really, like, I guess, shrewd way for the Crusaders to finish the game there. Like, it's, it just shows a lot of experience when it comes to Crusaders' decision making there. But yeah, like, that was just, I thought, the Hurricanes really had the sight set on a game that was, I thought that was a really, really poor finish for a decision for the Hurricanes to decide to go for the lineouts. And I really thought that Crusaders really played into that, and the referee was, Anyway, let's go through some of the other stuff for the game. So first half of the game, the game's actually like quite big contrast between the two halves. First half, there was 2 tries scored for both teams. Actually, 3 tries for the Crusaders, a bunch of penalty goals for the Hurricanes, plus two tries scored for the Hurricanes in the first half. So really high scoring and exciting first half. Both teams were able to build really beautiful attacks and able to score from these attacks, just like good hands, good offloads, building them into tries. And then there was, it was looking like, like a really cracking game, really exciting game. Both teams ventured, took the opportunities and took their risks, and they were rewarded with a lot of like really good tries for both teams. Second half though, clearly the Hurricanes were not able to build that same momentum they had in the first half, and both because the Crusaders defense stepped up a bit. The Crusaders defense was a little bit off in the first half actually. They were missing a few tackles left and right. The Hurricanes had some really good powerful running, especially from Julian Savia, was looking incredibly good. Artie Savia looking incredibly good as well. And then Jordy Barrett, every time he gets the ball, is able to get over the advantage line. But once again, the Hurricanes failed to link up to their key players again and again. These little line breaks, little go forward runs are not able to follow up by the Hurricanes support players. But in the second half, clearly that the Hurricanes mentality was just like, let's just stay ahead. Let's just hold on to that tiny bit of lead we have from the first half, and let's just try to eke out a win for the second half. So really second half, the Hurricanes attack looked a lot flatter than the first half, and they were not able to link up. The support was just not there with their attacks. The Crusaders, however, look a lot more dangerous whenever time they got the ball. They were able to link up their own players. They made some really good attacks where they ran from inside their own half, ran all the way to the Hurricanes, almost scoring inside the Hurricanes 22, almost scoring, and then to knock on the ball or something. So the Crusaders were much more dynamic in their attacking, much better at linking up with each other. But the Crusaders had way too many small errors, small penalties that was given away in the second half to keep that consistency, to keep that momentum rolling. They were able to score 1 try in the second half with Ethan Blackadder, who crashed over through a good some good Hurricanes defense and reached over for a try. But second half I saw it was really tough for both teams to breach the defense, but the Crusaders attacking definitely look a lot better than the Hurricanes. So the kicking game, the Hurricanes did look a little bit better, and it did look like they relied on the kicking game a little bit more than the Crusaders. In terms of set pieces, both teams were not really having that good in their set piece. The Crusaders didn't really utilize that more like they did in the previous games. But the Hurricanes did look like they were struggling a little bit in the scrummaging. So the Crusaders definitely had a bit more strong dominance with their front rowers in this game, but not really that, not super. The Hurricanes managed that difference quite well to really let Crusaders taking a huge advantage over that. So yeah, that's kind of like the overall summary of the game. Let's have a look at some of the match stats. The 4 tries to 2. Halftime score, the Hurricanes were ahead 18 points to 17. Run meters 461 to 447. And turnovers conceded. This is super high for both teams. 19 turnovers conceded for the Hurricanes, 17 for the Crusaders. Like I said, the Crusaders, despite having clearly more dominant, better attacking plays, not able to build that consistency just due to small errors. There's so many small errors for both teams. In fact, defense 128 for the Hurricanes, tackles for the Hurricanes, 21 missed tackles. Crusaders 157 tackles made, 33 missed tackles. Pretty heavy, more attack opportunities for the Hurricanes, and the Crusaders just able to hold off that defense really well. I think the halftime missed tackle count for the Crusaders was 13. So yeah, really, the missed tackle count was a little bit higher than what Crusaders would like for both halves. It shows when you're making 157 tackles, that missed tackle count is starting to creep up for the Crusaders. A little bit uncharacteristic for the Crusaders because usually their missed tackle count is a lot lower. Kicks in play, like I said, Hurricanes look like they're over-relying on their kicking game. 18 kicks to the Crusaders, 14. And Hurricanes looks more than happy to try to just hold on to that win. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Hold on to that win. The conversions, Jordie Barrett's goal kicking was much better than the Richie Mo'unga's. 2 out of 4 for Richie Mo'unga, and the two kicks that he missed look like way off. Like it wasn't even close. The 2 goals that he missed, and so I thought if going to extra time, the Hurricanes could edge out a win with just better goal kicking there as well. So I thought it was a really weird decision to not go for extra time. Lineouts, both teams struggled a little bit. 3 lineouts lost for Hurricanes, 2 lineouts lost for the Crusaders. Uncharacteristic for both teams. Penalty count, 10 penalties against Hurricanes, 9 against the Crusaders. And that's kind of like how the game ended. I don't know what else to say. The both teams play some really good attacking rugby in the first half, and then kind of went into their shell a little bit in the second half. A lot of small mistakes in the second half, and the final finish. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you think the Hurricanes made the right decision there. I thought they made the wrong decision. They should not have taken the consideration of the Tuesday game in affecting their decision making in this game. They should have gone for the extra time. They had much better opportunities there with the goal kicking of Jordie Barrett. And let me know your thoughts, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Did you enjoy this game? And let me know what your thoughts on the referee is. Thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. See you guys a bit later today for more reviews. Cheers.